Welcome, everyone, to Mechs on Deck. It's Wednesday. It's 8 p.m. We're here. We're talking to designers. We're talking about keycaps. Today, we have Minterly herself, designer of SA Bliss. How you doing?
Hi.
Chat is
I'm not
blowing
really sure
up.
what
Chat.
to say.
We've got chat's going crazy right now.
So is this Gray Studio takeover?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gray Studio takeover.
We've got quite a bit of caps lock only going on.
Oh, and there they are. Thank you, Metallic Chuck, Metal Chuck, Metallic Charles. Thank you for the 5 gift subs.
Dude.
You know, we don't say it all the time, but if you're a Prime member, you get yourself a free Prime sub every month.
Yeah.
You know, think about throwing it our way. If you appreciate what we are doing, we will appreciate you throwing it our way.
Prime as in Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Yep.
You get a free Twitch sub?
Yeah, every month.
And there it is.
Did not know
Starstone.
that.
You get a free one every
Ooh.
month. There it is. Ironfish. We just got to
No.
shout it out.
There you go.
Ironfish, Starstone. Welcome to the Mechs on Deck family. If you want to talk to us more, hit us up on our Discord. I am putting something in the bio for the or in the chat right now for our Discord. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go check us out. We have we talk about all things keyboards. If you are new, if you work at Gray Studio and Minterly has not convinced you to join the custom keyboard community yet, and you are just interested and you don't want to bother her, you can watch our stuff as well.
Yeah.
So, and thank you, Dixie Mech, for the 2 months now.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. So,
first thing,
quick shout out. Yeah, sorry. Quick shout out to our sponsors. Speaking of Dixie Mech, Eric leads through the sponsors.
Yeah. So, first off, Dixie Mech. You can stop on by and get SA Bliss, which is designed by Minterly herself. How many days left is it? Like 3 or 4, right?
It ends on the 28th.
28.
Oh, wow.
So
4
there's
days.
like 4 days left.
4 days left. You can get yourself a pretty fancy looking keycap set in an interesting profile. So head on over. There's the link in the description.
Get that
Helps
final
us out.
push.
Yeah, get that final push.
I
Get it
think
up
we're
to
about to
500.
hit 500 actually.
Get it to
So-
750.
5,000
Yeah.
set. I heard 5,000 sets, guys. You gotta get.
But no, other than that, we'd like to thank switchmod.net as well. You can head on over to switchmod.net/mechsondeck and get 4% off your lube and any other items that Krelbin has. I believe GMK Handlebear is still up. I don't think so.
It's a couple days left.
Couple days left. You can get a crazy looking set. So yeah, head on over there, pick it up, and then Zap cables. We got some cool stuff coming in soon. Maybe some prototypes. Who knows? We'll see.
It'll be a fun time. I also realized if you decide to go and purchase SA Bliss, make sure you use our affiliate link for Dixie. It helps us out. There, I'm just posted it in the chat there. You can head there and get yourself some lovely SA Bliss. So, all right, well, let's get started. So, we're changing a little bit. We're tweaking. This is our 4th Keycap Designer Month episode. So very happy to have Minterly on. We're kind of changing it up. We're trying some new things. You guys get to experience the fun of it. But first things first, we're trying to get to know you as a keyboard person. What are some of your favorite switches?
This is probably unpopular opinion, but I actually really like clicky switches. And I am known to mod them to be very heavy. So I like to switch out the click bar to the Sprit 40-gram click bars, and then I like to switch out the springs to 100-gram springs.
I think you and Chewy just became best friends right there.
Yeah, I get a lot of crap for that from everyone who knows me.
You will not get a single ounce, a single gram of crap from me. Oh, Thank you for
And
the
then-
love for the heavy spring.
And then other than that, I like Zelios. I think those are like the only tactile switches that I will use. And I do not like linears
Awesome.
at all.
There you go.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm not
Hey.
I'm not the biggest fan of linears. I'm very picky with the linear switches.
Listen, you just like what you like.
Yeah, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. So what are some of your favorite boards that you've built?
I actually haven't built that many. I built my friend a side CP, which is like, I think somebody made like a remake of like the TX CP, which is really popular.
Mhm.
And that one was really fun. Mostly because it was a gift and it was like one of the first like big hefty boards that I ever built. And I built a TMO and I really like that because I just enjoy the layout on that one. And I helped my boyfriend build a canoe.
Nice.
And that was fun. Yeah.
There it is. Quick shout out, by the way, Eskimojo14. Thank you for the Prime sub. Olivia, thank you for gifting the sub to Minterly. So Minterly, welcome to the Mechs on Deck Twitch. Talisman Solutions, thank you for the tier 1 sub. To Clavier, welcome. Captain Schwa. Captain
Schwa.
with the Prime sub. Thank you. All right, moving on. If money was not a thing, if aftermarket, whatever, if you could join in on any group buy when group buy happened and money wasn't a problem at the time, what board would you get and why?
If it has to be a group buy, I would say the Iron 165. I think that the thought and craftsmanship that went into that board, if it like comes out being as they say it will, I think that will be an amazing typing experience. But if it was just like any board, I would probably make myself a one-off of some weird wonky layout and just like post it on Reddit for memes.
There you go.
Memes.
Do it for the memes.
Memes
Yes,
can be
do it for the
dreams.
memes.
Mr. Keebs, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub.
Absolutely. So, what are your kind of top 2 or 3 keycap sets other than SA Bliss, of course?
My favorite is SA Ice Cap. That's actually the set that got me into liking Uniform Profile. And then I like DSA Milkshake just because I think, disclaimer, I don't actually really like the way DSA feels or sounds that much, but I really like the way he executed the design.
Very nice. And then so that's we kind of adapted some of our we call them like the fast 4, but moving in a little bit to more personally, what kind of, did you do anything before SA Bliss, or was this, I know that this is kind of your first real public intro into the keyboard community, but were there any projects that you had that kind of were before that maybe just didn't really pan out or haven't panned out yet?
I actually joined the keyboard community like last November. So when I was like first working on Bliss, I think I was in it for like 4 or 5 months maybe. So this is my first project. And it's kind of crazy like how
Quick.
well received it's been.
Very nice.
What board or key set was the catalyst for getting into customs? Like, what was the kind of the one that you looked at as like, oh, I want one of those?
I think the M65A, mostly because it was rose gold and I really just liked the color of it. And then once I got it, I was like, oh, this feels really nice. So, and then after that, it was like, just all my money flying out the bank.
See, for me, it was the exact same thing. It was the M65A, but I never actually got one.
Oh, yeah, I paid aftermarket for that and then I dropped it. So that was sad. Very, very sad.
Yeah, someone mentioned breaking or natting or breaking keyboards. Hopefully that's not too much of a problem.
It's a thing. It is a thing. I have broken many PCBs and dropped one keyboard. So there's a thing that they named after me of called breaking your keyboards, and apparently it's called natting your board.
Is it fair to say you are the Linus Tech Tips of the keyboard community for
right?
dropping things?
I don't actually watch him, so if he does drop things, then yes.
Yeah, he's
There
like
you go.
famous for dropping things. Like I think he dropped like a $6,000 CPU and broke it.
Oh wow,
yeah.
wow! I didn't know they made CPUs that expensive. Was it like an industrial?
It was like a production, like one-off kind of
Oh,
thing.
I think
okay.
it was a server CPU.
Yeah.
That's
So, so you've talked about you want to design your own, maybe for the meme, maybe not. But what is like an ideal layout for you? Like if you could either design what I'll ask two of ones that already exist right now. What would be your ideal layout? And then if you could design one, or how would you kind of make it your own?
the two layouts that I like right now. One of them is a real thing, which is the TMO, and then another one is a layout that my friend has been working on, the ATS 45. So I really like those layouts because it gives you the like functionality of a 40, but it doesn't cut off some of the extra keys at the left-hand side that like makes it kind of hard to adjust fully to like a 40%. But if I was to make a layout on my own, which is something that I've actually been playing with, is to like remove the number row completely and then keep the rest of the keys, but shorten all the mods to 40% size. So to be like a longer keyboard with all the keys, so I can be lazy, but then I'll be able to put the number row on a function layer on the home row, which I think is like enlightened.
So you like it like not very tall, but super long.
Yeah, because I'm just like lazy and I don't want to relearn like the pinky side of the keys, but it's okay for me to like relearn the home row, which is weird, but yeah.
And just imagine it looking like 3 like 40 like ortholinear boards just stacked next to each other.
I actually just got a plank and I don't know if I like it yet. I don't know if the ortho life is for me.
Yeah, neither of us are big into the ortholinear or really like 40%.
I
boring.
haven't given it the fair shot though. I haven't. Someone messaged us recently and they were like, "You should just like for a week, just do it. And if you hate it, like sell it." And just I was like, I'd give it a week. I'd probably hate every second of it because gaming needs number row. But
Yeah, I think if it's for like non-gaming related things, just because like for a lot of macros, like I used to play a lot of PC games like League of Legends and Steam games. It's kind of hard to play when you have to press like 5 keys just to get to one that you need. But for work, like I bring a 40, like I brought my TMO into work, and it was really awesome because like it was just so convenient to have everything at your fingertips and not have to like reach out. Like the argument that people make for 40s is that it's super ergonomic and everything is just like compact in one place and you don't have to like stretch your fingers in weird ways on a standard QWERTY.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing. Like your fingers can kind of like almost stay at home. Like you never have to really leave the home row for on a 40%. So what was and where did the inspiration for SA Bliss come from?
It's based off of my home decor. So you can't really see it right now, but I used to have like pink flowers up on my headboard of my bed and like pink and gray bed sheets. And it was like a bedroom style thing that I found on Pinterest that I really liked in college. But I kind of lived in a shitty college apartment and I didn't really want to like spend the effort to make it look nice. So then when I found an apartment on my own after I got my job, I was like, oh, this is like the way I want my house to look. So it's based off of my bedroom.
Well, there you go. So in the design process, what point were you kind of like, okay, it's good to go? Like, gonna take this to IC. I'm sure, based on the big showing of everyone for you in the chat, I'm sure there are some friends of yours that you showed before taking to IC. But what was kind of that moment of going, okay, I'm ready to go?
Well, for me, I knew that I wanted to do custom mods because I just have an issue with like text mods and icon mods. I just think it's pretty average. So I was trying to design my own mods, and it took me a while to get to a style that I liked. But once I like locked down on kind of like the aesthetic that I wanted to come through in my mods, and knew that I was able to replicate that to like the rest of the modifiers, I released my IC, I think, when I had the 60% mods done. And then I worked on my 10 kilos and novelties from there.
Nice.
Well, there you go.
And what was your kind of biggest fear going into interest check?
I didn't think anyone would like it because I chose like an SA uniform profile. And like, first of all, SA is not that popular in the first place. And then the uniform, like a lot of people were like, oh, why can't we just have it in GMK? Like at least make it sculpted or semi-sculpted. But I was just like, no, I want a uniform SA profile.
So second part of that was that was like 100% for you. Like is uniform spherical flat, as I like to call it. Is that like completely your favorite profile?
So far, yes. I actually haven't tried too many, but out of the ones that I have, it is my favorite. And I have I think I have the most SAR3. I have like 2 sets of SA Ice Caps and SA Abyss. And I just like really like the feel and the sound of it, which is why I was so drawn to it. I actually don't really like GMK that much. And people were like pressuring me like, oh, like you should just do GMK, it would do so much better to be more popular. But then I was like, but I just want to make something that I would like. Like that's kind of the point of me designing something with like a cute aesthetic. So I just went with that and hoped for the best.
Worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad.
So, also I've missed a few, but I've missed a lot of follows, and I apologize. But BHK 1004, thank you for the sub. And with the follows, Stewie138, Functional, Disconcerto, Starson3. Sorry, I'm terrible if I'm messing up names. Mudkip Mao, Corgi Keyboard, awesome name. Time Lord Alonzi, and Vobs. Thank you all for the follows. So, with the interest check phase, I know that you said you brought in, you did just everything for the 60%, but what were some of the biggest changes you made during the interest check phase? And were there anything from community members maybe coming in and saying, hey, I think you should change this, or I think you should change that?
I think the most that I changed was adding compatibility. Once I realized for some of the like ortholinear, I just had to add like a couple of keys, and in my IC form, it was actually a pretty popular layout that people wanted. And then I think ISO was another one where it's like, oh, I got enough interest, and the MOQ for SA is so low that it wouldn't be a risk to try to do that. And then one thing that I did change based off of community feedback was to make my icons fatter, which is like not like the thickness, but somebody mentioned that the style for some of the 10 keyless mods were not like consistent with the rest. So I like went back and like made them puffier, like more cloud-like. That's just one change. But overall, I don't think there were that many. And compatibility was pretty easy due to the fact that it was an uniform set.
Yeah. You don't really have a whole lot to like, you don't have to
Yeah, I
worry
did not
about
have
it.
to worry about anything at all. I was just like, oh, I want this key. All right, just add one in and I'm good.
Yeah,
So
our my good friend, she's in the chat right now, Jenly. She got SA Bliss, and she was like super stoked that this came out. She was like, finally something for ortholinear that I can use.
Yeah, because I was like talking to some other like designers like Rencia. I like talked to him about some of his set stuff too. And he's like, yeah, you have to add like 3 different keys in 3 different rows just for 1 extra key if you're like adding 40s compat or something. And I was like, that's crazy. If I wanted an extra tab, like it would just be 1 key in a different size, not like across 3 different rows.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I got really lucky choosing a uniform profile as my first set, just so I didn't have to deal with the headache of compatibility.
yeah. So the set has some pretty cool and pretty interesting novelties. How did you go about designing those?
The novelties were actually the first ideas that I had. I just like made a list, I think, of like 20 different random things around the house that reminded me of home and the things that I liked that would be cute. And then I kind of tried out like maybe 75% of the ideas, and then from there like decided which ones would actually look nice on a cap, because there are some ideas that I like designed that didn't actually make it in the kit because I was like, this is kind of basic, or like, oh, this doesn't fit with the rest of the theme.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these I love the cactus. I think that might be my absolute favorite one.
Oh
at the
yeah, I would
moment.
have like all the succulents and the cactus in my house, but I have dogs, so they would eat it. So I just have fake instead.
Yeah, I like the alpaca. That's probably my favorite.
I think that one's my favorite too.
Just looks like a large unicorn for me.
Just
But nothing
a
wrong.
large unicorn that was
nothing
fat
wrong
and
Yeah.
fluffy.
with a
And we'll
fat,
That's
fluffy
kind.
unicorn.
And we'll spit on you if you get too close.
Yeah.
Gotta be
Oh no,
careful.
I think that's llamas. I think llamas spit on you, but alpacas don't, which is why I like them better.
I don't know.
All I know is alpacas like hop.
That's true.
If I'm thinking about that, they don't like
think
they
so.
run, but they also like hop a bunch, which is
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah, they're very cute.
So, you've kind of touched on this, but the first three we had was GMK Olive and GMK Metropolis and GMK 8008. So you are our first essay set designer. How is kind of approaching that? I know you wanted to go after a uniform row, but given the kind of a little bit more wiggle room with the centered mods and centered legends and all of that, how was designing SA, and have you kind of worked with designing GMK, and what was that difference like, if possible?
I haven't actually tried designing a GMK set, but I'm currently in the process of working on a cat set, and it's definitely very different just because you have to keep in mind, like, I think the compatibility is the biggest issue. If you're trying to offer compatibility, it like gets more expensive as you add more keys, and as someone who kind of just like wants to support everything, it was really easy for me to do it with the uniform profile. But even then I couldn't support everything. Like I don't have like a 2U shift key. I somehow forgot to include minivan compatibility, so it's just like you kind of have to work with like how popular you think the set will be versus what the MOQ is. Oh, and that's another big thing, I think. SA or Signature Plastics mock is much, much lower than GMK is. So that gave me, so even though I was like afraid that I wouldn't hit MOQ necessarily like at higher numbers, I was like, at least I could sell like, 25 or 50 and I can make this a reality. So like I was aiming for like lower numbers, and if it seemed like more people are interested, then I would be able to add more compatibility, and that was nice.
Nice.
There you go.
So I'm going to change this one up a little bit from what we have written. But I know, obviously, row 3 SA is pretty uncommon, and that's what a lot of people have kind of said, like, why. At any point, did you, like, think about doing what some other set designers are doing where they have, like, the alphas, or, like, they almost have, like, a completely different set in a standard, SA profile? Like I know, what was it?
It's Laser.
SA Laser did that where they had like a different set that you could purchase in their
like Mitolit or something.
Yeah.
Did you ever think
Okay.
about doing like a different version of that to get the naysayers of the flat to please them?
I don't think I ever considered that, mostly because I don't think that I would have been able to run, because I think Mitolit is pretty much like a completely different set, and I didn't think I had enough like credibility in the community for people to want to support me that much. So I was just like, I just have to stick to one thing and like hope it goes well.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty bold. We've seen a couple other people try to do it. I know Hammerhead, GMK Hammerhead tried to do it where they had almost like two completely like different sets
Yeah.
run at the same time, but then they ended up not actually running it. But
Hey,
That's beside the
you
point.
know, SA Bliss didn't have that problem. Well, they hit. You guys hit MOQ fairly quickly, if I
Yeah,
remember,
I
like
think
2
we hit it in the
days.
first 2 days, which is insane,
Gosh.
except ISO. But ISO is going to make it, I think, without any vendor help, which is nice.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
But and so let's see. I just scrolled like all the way down and messed up where I was. All right. So did you? I guess this kind of answer, but did you like? Did you foresee it hitting MOQ at all, or did you foresee it kind of hitting it that fast? And were there any like kind of, so you have your base kit and then numpad, novelties, space bars? Or did any of those like hit faster than you might think or slower than you might think?
I definitely novelties like hit in the first, like almost double in the first day, I think, and that was insane to me. I was like, the attach rate of novelties to base kit is kind of blowing me away. I think it's like hovering around 68 to 70%. And it's not a cheap novelties kit. It's like $55 or something like that. So that was really like shocking to me. Um, and then I honestly didn't think that I would hit mock very quickly at all. Like I was like, oh, 200, like we're gonna have to struggle to get there because I know based off of like interest check, it doesn't directly translate over into sales. Like I was kind of hoping that maybe like 30% of the people who were interested would actually buy, so that would have ended up around like 200-300, which would have hit mock eventually. But I totally did not think that it would have hit in like 1 or 2 days. That was crazy. Like even Dixie was like, "Wow, what is happening?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah, I think he said last week on the episode that it's like it's the best selling SA row 3 of all time. So congratulations.
That's nice. Thank you.
So in turn, who would you say was the biggest help for you in getting from concept all the way to group buy?
My render guy. We kind of started this, I think, like not like designing Bliss together, but he was working on his keycaps at SA Sunday morning, which I think he's like finally moving ahead with, and he's also doing the 45 ATS. And he's actually the one who kind of gave me like FOMO of like, oh, he's doing so much for the community, and he's like has all these ideas that he's putting into excuse me, that's like he's making reality. And I was like, I want to do that. Like that seems fun, and he seems like he is enjoying it, and getting some recognition from it. So he's definitely been like a big help in like making sure that I'm kind of heading in the right direction, and like he has given me a lot of feedback on my designs, and also he does all of my renders, which are amazing. So I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah,
also the Gray Studio people.
She's only
The
shouting
funny
them out
story.
because they're here.
No. They bullied me into this. So we
The first comment right
we
before you
bullied
said
her.
that, we bullied her.
So actually, like I showed them this idea like a month or a month and a half before I actually IC'd, and they started this thing called the Gray Studios Incubator, which was like a place for all of the community members to show their ideas, but not like directly associated with Gray Studios. So they named the channels like future, some whatever IC. And I think at one point I had up to 3 futures, and I was like, you know what? Screw you guys, I'm gonna make this happen. And then I like crunched time, and in 2 weeks I like had the IC out, and I was like, okay, I feel better.
I appreciate the competitiveness in order to get from future to IC in 2 weeks.
To like a real thing. Yeah, I was like, you know what? You guys can talk all the smack you want, but I made it happen. So now you can't say anything.
And now you have the most successful SA row 3 keycap set of all time. So whatever, and just flex on them.
Reverse psychology. Yeah.
You should make like a plaque for yourself. Little award.
Little award. Future.
Future.
Yeah.
So we got some cool artisans that kind of came out of this group buy. So how was working with those artisan makers, and how was that process?
It's relatively simple. I think most of it is just like reaching out to people that I think would be willing to work with the set. And for me, Keyforge was actually a really long shot. Like I didn't think he would notice my set at all, but he agreed to that and was like, "Oh, this is cool." And then I kind of chose artisans that I like, people that I already admired. So I think Alpha Keycaps, their Keypora is insanely detailed and like incredible. And then Latrialum, I don't really see many people doing. They're all like resin, but hers like the style is like, I call them resin caps. It's like kind of like jelly keys or prime caps. I asked her for a collab just because I found her on Instagram and I was like, oh wow, like I really like her caps, and I don't really see people doing this style of artisan collab. Usually it's like Keyforge and someone else, or like Rama cap. So I just reached out to people that I admired and I was like, please make caps for me. I like your stuff. Hey,
Ooh, someone's
sorry,
angry.
my dog is barking.
Oh, you're good.
Olive.
We are dog friendly people here.
We are. We all
Olive, come here.
we have dogs. I've
Olive,
got
come here.
Dog.
That's
Now we're
true.
getting people asking for the dog cam.
Oh. Olive, come here. Come here.
Anubis is asleep.
Olive, come here.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that this dog's name is Yeti.
His name is Olive, and
Olive.
he is
Show doggo.
not coming. Okay,
Ah.
come here. Okay.
Her
Okay.
dogs are bigger than her.
No, this one's small one.
Oh,
Oh, look at
Where's
that
Olive?
guy.
little Yorkie.
He's very annoying. He likes to bark at everything, but he's
That sounds like
he's
Yorkies.
he's a wimp. That's what he is.
All bark, no bite.
Yes. He's also like
Sounds
7 pounds, so
sounds like my dog.
yeah.
So I know you had mentioned cat, but are there any plans for SA Bliss in another profile?
I had originally wanted to run in GMK, but I don't know if that is feasible with Olivia having the dark alphas, and just like I don't know if the community demand will be there. But I might run it in cat, just because I think that is like a potentially hot new keycap style. It's like not as tall as SA, which a lot of people have issues with, and it's PBT, so it's thick and it sounds nice and it doesn't shine. So that would be very nice. But for any rerun, I'm gonna wait until the SA like ships first. So
Yeah.
I'll have to just like I have a lot of time to decide. I'm just gonna move on to new projects for now and then revisit and be like, I don't know, what would you guys want?
Sure.
So I changed the question on you, but it's this one. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. Nope, I went out of turn.
You did.
I apologize.
You did. It's okay. You can just go again. Get yourself 3 in a row.
Sorry. How we do this is just color coded, and apparently I can't tell the difference between two very different colors. What board are you most excited to put on SA Bliss?
I don't think
Put SA Bliss on.
So I got the rose gold brass think, which I think will look very nice. But I also got the render of the Port U80 done by Alec, and that also looks very nice. And so I got the Port U80 and I was like, oh, this would be nice for Bliss. And the Iron 165 will have a white version or a purple version for the standard edition, and I really like. So if I can't have a 40% board, I'll take a 65% because it's like the lazy, nice, compact layout. So I'm excited for those 3 boards.
Nice. Yeah, 65% are my favorite and the superior layout to 60%.
I'm just gonna ignore that you said that. And,
Our YouTube video that we released yesterday was literally us just arguing about which layouts were better than the other. So
yeah, I mean, everyone has their favorite. I mean, I don't mind using a 60. I just think like having the arrow cluster there is just like cool, convenient. I don't have to think about it extra.
It's okay to be wrong. That's all I'm saying.
So how was working with Dixie Mech, and can you kind of like describe the process of how that really like kind of started?
I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I have this set. Like, would you want to work on it? And he was very excited about it and gave me a lot of feedback, which made me very confident to work with him because as a first time, like anything keyboard related maker, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I don't know which direction to go. And he gave a lot of feedback on the kits and like how to market stuff, especially during the GB. So that was really nice.
Yeah, I remember he said very nice things about you last week, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he's such a cool dude, and I'm glad that you guys were able to bring SA Bliss kind of to life at this point.
Yeah, I really appreciate like the passion that he has. So that made me like more confident in going forward with this. And I think it helps because he used to work as a designer himself, like not like keycap designing, but just like I think UI UX designing. So he had a lot of feedback on like visual aspects and like with color matching. I got my color match chip from Signature Plastics and I was like, I can't really tell if this is accurate or not. And I like shipped it to him and he's like, oh yeah, this is spot on. And I was like, okay, cool. I don't have to worry about it. Like if Dixie can tell if this is okay, like I'm good.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
So trust in Dixie, as we will just say from now on. With
Dixie,
the with the long turnaround times with Signature Plastics, for those who don't know, Signature Plastics do have a relatively long run time. They usually have a pretty intense backlog. So kind of how do you cope? I guess there's two sides to this. Is actively choosing that, knowing it's not going to come out for a while, and I guess the second to this is how are you going to cope with the fact that you're going to have to wait a little bit for SA Bliss to become a reality?
I went with Signature Plastics because I know there are other SA makers, but like the community has pretty much decided that Signature Plastics is the best, and I'm willing to wait to compromise wait time in terms of quality. Like I don't think quality can be compromised. And then like for me, I usually order something and I'll like forget about it in a month. So I'm probably gonna forget about it until like the next step needs to be decided. Like after this group buy wraps up, I'm assuming that we're gonna have to place the order and I'll have to like send my novelties and then or like my custom icons. And then after a while it'll just be like waiting until they have an update from us. And working with SP has been pretty great because their contact person is Melissa and she gets back very promptly. And she even checked up on me today. She was like, hey, like, how was that color chip that I sent you? Was it okay? And I was like, yeah, like, I think it's great that they like care about the community that much. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah, I remember because we asked him last week about working with GMK and his frustrations of them being out in another country. So SP, he did say they were very, very fast. So
yes, they're very responsive. Just production is a little slow, but I mean, if people are willing to wait a year for Vile Bloom, like I'm hoping that Bliss is like worthy enough for them to wait 7-8 months for.
Yeah, in like 10 months, you're gonna take over our mechanical keyboards for about 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, it'll be like the top like 5 posts will all be
the Bliss invasion. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that was actually kind of crazy with Vile Bloom. That came out of nowhere.
I think he was hosting a competition or something. That is why so many people were like spam posting, and then they made a post on mechanical keyboards like, oh, if you're going to do this in the future, make a thread for it and don't spam the Reddit.
Yeah, it's like because at that point it doesn't really like what are you marketing? Because it's like it's not really like you can go and buy it still,
Yeah,
it'd be different if it was something that was like in stock. So
yeah.
So how is designing a key set with the increasing number of keycap colorways and key sets that are in interest check, like every 5 seconds now?
It was definitely difficult because I think around the time that I was starting, it was like when that one GMK render came out. So everyone was like throwing ideas against the wall just to see if it would stick. So for me, it was definitely the custom mods was what I felt like helped my set stand apart. Is that how you say it? Is that the right phrase? Like just like
I think so.
be different. I don't know. Because like there's definitely gonna be some color overlap and like interpretation overlap. There's like a lot of people that was like, oh, your set is basically like Dark Olivia, which there is now, and then like, oh, your set is kind of like Nines. But then if I put the effort into designing my own modifiers, like I can't really be like, they can't really be like, oh, like you didn't put any effort into this, you just chose 2 colors and ran with it. It was like I'm put kind of like a different spin to it, and it's definitely not going to be up everyone's boat like a very cutesy, chubby modifier style. But I'm hoping there's like enough people in the community who appreciate that, who like think that it's different enough. So
No, that's a really unique way of approaching that, is kind of just going, hey, I'm going to make this different. So that's mad respect on that. That's making it stand apart. Because I mean, at this, yeah, like you said, now you can change that color and you could make it, the same color as another set. But if the modifiers are different,
yeah, I
It
mean,
would
I don't
be
think
you.
like if you did the same exact colors as someone,
Oh,
like
yeah.
people would still be very, very angry. But if it was like similar to like 1 or 2 sets, but then you had something custom about it, like even throwing in a novelties kit, I think makes it a little different. And now
Mhm.
people are like trying the multi-mod text. I think that's like the new trend right now. I'm seeing a lot of those sets, kind of like Oblivion and Dracula. But like people are like, trying new things, and I think like adding your own custom design to it and then going with a manufacturer that will allow you to do that and not like break the bank is really nice.
You can skip. I'm not. She already answered that on the 24th row,
yeah.
so you can skip it.
For someone who may just be getting into keycap design, do you have any tips about your experience?
I would say like definitely find 1 or 2 people who are kind of design oriented and don't have the same views as you to give you feedback, because I feel like if you're making something, you're kind of biased, like you think it's good, but then somebody will be able to be like, hey, like I don't think that's good. And if you trust them as your friend, like you know that they're not just messing with you, like they're actually giving you legitimate feedback. That definitely helps a lot. And then seeking out advice from other people who have done this, or like even vendors, like establishing a good relationship with your vendor is really useful, because you can ask them for advice, especially as a new designer. If you don't know what you're doing, like they can give you a lot of help. And I think not stumbling in blind is very useful.
Yeah. So good tips if there are people trying to get out of the future. That's how you do it. Real quick, the Catfish Man, Starstone, and Bessa, Jake Reps, I don't know, and Cause. Thank you for the follow. So this time we have a couple more questions, but I'm going to start peppering in some. So if you guys have questions, just use the tag at Mechs on Deck, ask away, and feel free to ask as many questions as you like, and we will try and have our awesome guest Minterly answer them as best she can. So, but this was from one of our Discord members, Jax Tastic. When did your love for alpacas start?
I mean, I like all things that are fluffy and cute. So I think like I discovered like fluffy cute farm animals sometime in college. Like apparently there's things called fluffy cows and they're amazing. So just from there, like random Google searches led to random suggestions on my Instagram. It's like how creepy things work. And then I was like, oh, alpacas are cute. So yeah.
Fluffy can confirm fluffy cows are cute. Looking
Fluffy
at them.
They
cows are very cute. You should all
That's-
Google that.
All right.
Yeah, my favorite fluffy animal I think is the chinchillas, because they can jump super high.
Oh, but apparently they're a pain to take care of.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are.
But they're also very cute.
So, do you want to go ahead and go into this one, Dave or Chewy? The
We'll save the last two for last.
all right.
Those are kind of our anchors.
So I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but just someone asked again. Can you re-explain the thought process behind going with uniform row 3?
Well, it is my favorite profile, but I actually have a story of how it became my favorite. So right when I joined the community, I think Jellykeys was running their koi pond artisan like enter and spacebar, and those were an SA profile because they had previously ran cherry and they were like, there isn't enough space for us to make these look nice, so we're gonna make them SA. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I have no idea what SA is. I'm gonna buy it and then find a keycap set to go with it. So then I found the SA ice caps, and they were out of stock for a while. And I was like, oh, like, I don't know if this will be the set that I'll be able to put these artisans with. And eventually they came back in stock. I ordered some, and now I have 2 sets. So
there you go.
that is why I like SAR3.
Nice.
Did you get your koi pond artisans now?
No, I've seen them shipping, but mine have not come yet. And I'm like, I just want my artisans that like started this whole thing. And where are they? But I think they said that their production was a little delayed because they wanted to get the quality down, and they were having some issues producing them. So I don't really mind waiting as long as I get it eventually.
Yeah, I know.
That should be a t-shirt for our community.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like everyone's like, oh, group buys delayed by a week, let's riot. And I'm like, you know what? Like, you've already waited 4 months. Like, you can wait another 1 or 2.
A week is like nothing compared to some of the
M0110.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
sorry.
Like R1 hyperfuse, round 1 of hyperfuse is still waiting on function keys. Yeah,
What?
F8 keys.
Wow.
And it's been like years. Like,
yeah, there's like 3 different or 4 different reruns of hyperfuse and like 3 different profiles.
Where's my F8 key? Yeah. So I mean, I feel like if we're getting stuff done, in a semi-timely manner, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I know someone had mentioned that you're just starting to get into kind of artisans. What are kind of your favorite designers, and what's kind of your grail artisan if you had one?
I have a grail artisan. I think ETF is pretty grail. The faces that he makes are creepy to me, but also so defined. Like, I got one of his egg faces recently, and I didn't realize how defined the faces are until I took like a macro shot of it for my Instagram, and I was like, wow, like this is incredible artsmanship. And the fact that he can produce caps for 3 months every single day except Sundays, I'm just like maybe he pre-produces, but the fact that he can like keep up with this level of production is just like next level, I think, as an artisan maker. In terms of style though, I really like CYSM caps because they're very cute and like have that like round, cutesy but still clean aesthetic. So if I were to make caps, I think it would kind of fall into that vein, and not into like the more like complex designs like Keyforge or alpha keycaps. Like, I don't even know if that would be something that I would be able to do. I just think they're impressive to look at.
Cool. I'm gonna act like I knew anything.
No, not even.
Just straight
sure.
Over. We're neither of us are
artisan
big,
people. Oh,
big into artisans right now.
That is good because it is a lot of money.
I have one that I really like. I have a Gundam one.
I have one that I didn't pay for. Yeah, Keyclack.
Keyclack has the little Gundam head. I was like, getting this one. Have a few others. I'll join them from time to time if they're awesome. But I had one that I thought was a dog, but it turned out it was a bat. And I was like, you know what? Maybe artisans just aren't for me. And I had a little like, actually for Cyrus's early birthday present, I gave him my Rama M6B A. I don't know. And I had a couple artisans on that, and then I was just like, yep, I'm good. I got the nano the bento nano
Yeah.
And I was like, that'll be fun. And if you put other artisans outside of what's on that, it'll just look goofy. So
Yeah. I have one artisan, and Chewy actually bought it for me. And it's a artisan of Osiris, the Egyptian deity, which is pretty.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty cool. Sorry, I know you. Here, I'll let you see it.
You're not showing it there.
Well, I'm trying to show it on the stream, and then I'm like, oh wait, now she's just looking at my palm. And then I actually have a couple of ones that we're going to be giving away soon. Here, I'll show you these. These are the. I can never remember how to say her name.
Latriellum?
Latriellum, yeah.
Yep, there it is.
I love her. She is so nice. She's like the nicest person that I've met in this community so far. She's like so supportive.
She
and like
is.
asking her about how she makes her caps, and she's like, yeah, I like talking to her.
I sent her a picture of the artisan on my Orange 75, which uses Hyperfuse Origins, and it matches really well. And she's like, I didn't say anything. I just sent her a picture, and she's like, you can keep it if you want. I'm like, wait, you gave it to us to give away. So, like, no.
Too nice.
Yeah, so nice.
BHK 1004. What is next? I don't know if you're asking Minterly what is next, or if you are asking us what is next. If you do not mind clarifying.
What is
Minterly?
next?
Minterly, what is next?
What does that mean? What is next?
Like
what is
for
next?
I guess like for design or like
for
what
keycap
design,
sets?
keyboards. What are you going to do?
I'm working on a Kindred inspired keycap set right now from League of Legends, and I really want that to be in cat profile. So I've actually been like crazy designing modifiers and all that again, and hopefully we'll have it out in IC in the next month or so. So I'm really excited for that one.
Again, right over Chewy and I's head of who,
yeah,
who
well,
that is.
it's
We're
like
not League of Legends players, but
I played once, and I have never been told so many hateful things about myself in a shorter amount of time.
That game is very toxic, but they have very cool characters. So I like this one mostly because like in game she has a very nice voice, and then I didn't actually like recognize the aesthetic potential that she had until my sister designed a Kindred inspired Kipora, and I was like, oh, like I could totally use these colors and make a set, and then it kind of just took off from there.
Awesome. Chewy, all right, we need to start designing Overwatch inspired keycaps.
I will happily inspire a Junkrat themed keycap set.
We should do
that
one.
would be so cool.
We should do one of CS:GO and just have it different colors of dirt.
And over here you have dirt from Mirage, but over here you have dirt from Cash. So, Ann Bessa, what is your favorite 65% key? Are you asking just Minterly or all of us? But Minterly, go ahead and start. If you want to hear ours, we can.
The only 65 I own right now is the M65A, and I definitely do like it a lot. It has a great build quality. The Anno is amazing, and it sounds pretty nice. But like I've already like said 10 times, I'm very excited for the Iron 165.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will be as good as they promised it to be, because there's a lot of hype around that.
Nice. She did say all. I promise I am not pandering. I'll give two answers before I'm very openly against 65%. But one that exists, I do really like the Koyu. I like keyboards that have integrated plates because I like there being zero wiggle room. But I think my favorite layout, not to pander, is the Bower. I love the symmetrical bottom row. So Dixie Mech, Bower, check it out. It looks awesome.
Yeah, personally, after watching the build stream of the Bower last weekend, definitely gonna say the Bower, and then Something that exists right now. I don't know. That's hard. I'll probably have to say M65A as well, just because that's what kind of was like got me into 65s. So, but
Yeah, the Bauer definitely has a very nice design. I just don't know how I feel about Win Keyless because I've never used that before.
Love me some Win
it's
keyless.
the best. You never accidentally press your Windows key in the middle of a video game. It's great.
I actually like swap all my keys around though to go with the Mac layout though, because I'm used to doing like the command like when I do copy and paste. So I have like all my keys switched around even on my home computer. So it's a little weird.
Nice.
This is a good question. Racing Giraffe. Which welcome. I think I saw you earlier mention that you finally caught a stream. Racing Giraffe, welcome. Thank you for joining us. What do you guys think's the most overrated keycap set?
Eventually, you're up.
I don't even know if I have the right to say like anything is overrated.
You do not have
Hot
to
takes.
answer. Although most people, so it looks like people are saying SA Bliss.
Oh, maybe Handerbait.
But it's
Hander
for a
bait
good
is little.
cause.
I mean, is it really though?
I'll ruffle some feathers. I do not like Oblivion. I think Oblivion. I hate the return key, and I think the mismatched. I think the mismatched color. Like some sets, I think do it really well with the multicolored mods. But I really like Dracula. I think they did it great. But I feel like Dracula was like bright and flashy and kind of fun, where Oblivion, while it's a cool looking set, and I do like Oblivion, the monochrome kit. Like I thought that was cool, but I hate return enter keys. I icon or at least something. So I think it's not my least favorite set, but I think it is the question being what is the most overrated? I think Oblivion is most overrated.
Yeah, that's hard.
At me.
It's hard. Man, I don't know because I feel like sets. While I like them, they're still overrated. I don't know. Like I like Hyperfuse. I have Hyperfuse, but I feel like it's an overrated set. I don't know. Ooh, Solarized Dark. I hate that set.
Metropolis did it better.
Metropolis did it better. Solarized Dark.
Yeah, Metro is definitely one of the nicer sets I've seen.
Although
I did pass on that one because I don't like GMK.
There you go.
And then they added a 40 keys after, and I was like, oh, why you gotta do me like this?
So this is a question that we've asked a couple of the other people we've had on that we forgot to put in. How many sets of SA Bliss are you purchasing?
As many as I can, probably. Okay, maybe not that many. Like 10 or 15 or 20. I don't know. I just want a lot and like hang them up on my walls and like sleep with them at night or something. I don't know.
Because I think Olivia is right now top with, I think she had 10.
Yeah.
So
she bought 10 of Olivia.
Does she use all of them?
She personally uses, well, she bought 10, but like 3 or 4 were gifts.
Oh, yeah, I have a few that I'm gifting. Like I'm gifting one to my sister, even though she insists that she doesn't need one. I'm like, just take it. It's my child.
I assume Gray Studio is gonna explode with SA Bliss in about 8 months. You gotta take a picture with like 14 boards of SA Bliss.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, there were like 400 something things sold. So that's gonna be fun.
So Nathan Kim says we can't be friends anymore. Come at me, bro. Love Nathan Kim. Thoughts on 8008?
I really like the colors, even though it's inspired by Sports Bra. I think that is cool. But I don't know if I'll be getting it just because it's GMK. Like if it was
You're
I
not
don't
going to
know.
support Dixie? Come on.
But say, guys, you heard it here first. Minterly hates Dixie Mech.
Hey,
While
I
wearing a
said no
shirt.
such thing.
While wearing a Dixie Mech shirt.
I mean, I think like the first GMK set that I got was Mizu, just because like the balance of the colors is amazing. I just don't think like if I got many GMK sets, like I just don't have room for that many because I won't use them. And then I would just feel bad to have like a very nice pretty set sitting in the corner, and then I'll just be like I know that I will choose other ones over it. So
Personally, I love 8008. So, I mean, I might be getting the 8008 Bauer combo on the renders. That would be
very nice.
pretty nice. So,
Osiris and I recently have tried to make it a point to not get every set, both of us. And so I think he's getting 8008, and if I have, if we split sets as well every now and then.
Yeah, see, I don't have anyone to do that with, or else I would like have a repository of like sets just to share for like photos, or like if you wanted to use it for a week or two.
Mm-hmm. So he's getting that, and I'm investing in other things. So I do really like 8008, but once he said like, yeah, I'm definitely getting it, I was like, all right, cool. Now I don't have to get it.
yeah. Well, because like right now we're both waiting on 9s, we're both waiting on waves, we're both waiting on minimal, we're both waiting on Illumina. We're both waiting on another buy. We both have TX60s, and I think that's where it stops.
That's a lot of overlap, though. That's a couple $100 of overlap.
It's quite a bit.
So now, granted, minimal is a little okay.
Yeah.
I mean, minimal is like a pretty.
It's a good, to me. That's going to be the like perfect like plain. This goes with everything.
Yeah.
And they just did. There's doing the I think Canon Keys is doing the like add-on kit too. So excited about that.
But hey, you got peaches and cream. I got olive.
Yeah, I got peaches and cream coming. He's got that was the other thing. No need to get that. But are either of you going to get Bliss? I unfortunately am not getting Bliss. I am not a SA person that much, and I have to be nice to my wallet. And with a private group buy and a set of GMK peaches and cream, which was kind of, I have been barking peaches and cream since the second it went into interest check. So I had to unfortunately spend my money in other. But I do really, really like SA Bliss. I like the colors. I just don't know if I could do the SA.
Minterly, I'm sorry. I'm also not getting SA Bliss. I actually was, and Dave will tell you, I was actually really interested in it. I like SA. I've never used SA Row 3 personally, so I was interested to try it, but then 159 put up the Sirius again for like a weekend, and I was like,
"Oh,
I can't miss out on this." So who knows? I've got 4 days left to decide.
Make a decision.
We'll see.
I mean, it's understandable. Like the insane number of sets out right now. I think there were like 5 running at this month at some point with like Magic Girl and Dots and Handerbait and Peaches and Cream and
Vaporwave.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know how people's wallets are going to handle this. Like, there's some sets that I wanted next month that I'm just like, I don't even know if I can join in on everything that I want. Like, I was super hyped for MTP Serica, and then I was like, but do I really need it? I'm still debating that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's I forgot what set did run. I think it was Carbon. That was one that I was like, I wanted the Bones kit for Carbon.
Ooh.
And that was just one where I was like, you have to start drawing some harsh lines somewhere. But I actually had SA Abyss like really early on. And like I had it like March of last year, and I had it for about a month. And I enjoyed it, but for a while, but I think the uniform row messed with my typing, and it's just something I wasn't used to. So,
all right, we need to get Moon to buy it. He just said in the chat that he might pull the trigger at Moon. Buy SA Bliss, so then that way we can play with it, and we can.
Isn't he a mod?
He is.
He's
you can just threaten to unmod him.
There we go.
There you go.
Boom. I like it
You know,
already.
it's
Thrown on
funny
fire.
when you were talking earlier about group buys and how when you buy something you like forget about it a month later. I was like thinking in my head, Moon is the exact opposite of that. He's just like every day, like, where's this at? What's
Oh,
happening?
really?
Yeah. We're gonna bash him because he's here because he's never here in streams, so we're gonna bash him a little bit.
I'm a real quick funny story. Moon invited us to dinner tonight.
Yeah. He asked us if we
Completely
wanted to get
forgetting.
sushi.
He was like, "Let's get sushi, man. Like, let's go out." And I just remember being like, "Dude, like, you know what day it is, right?"
It's really the only reason why he wants to do that is because he wants to give me his pandas, so I'll clean them.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
Worst mod confirmed.
Yeah.
Come on,
Oof.
gosh.
Hard rip.
Even she knows.
Someone asked, and Bessa asked, why don't you like GMK? I'm going to go ahead and assume that is
For me. I don't like how flat it is. I think like the lower profile kind of gets to me a little. And then like I just find the sound of SA to be much nicer just because there's so much more cap material to deal with. And I think ice caps are PBT, and it's like one of their only PBT sets right now because they're still working on their tooling for PBT, but it just like has such a nice deep thock, and like going from that to kind of like a higher pitched, like crunchier sound with like that's kind of flat and doesn't have as much satisfaction. And like I will use GMK, like it's not like, oh, I hate it, I'll never touch it. Like I will definitely use GMK and I'll like buy into sets that I think are like super, super nice and I can't pass up on. But if that colorway was made into a different profile that was like slightly higher, thockier, I would like definitely choose that over it any other day.
You must. I just like it just all clicked right now. You must have like the loudest keyboards ever. With
yeah, I do.
With your exchanged click bar and the heavier springs.
Do you have a board on your desk right now?
My laptop is on my keyboard right now, but I have, and like I can just
show keyboard.
Like
this
is.
Love it. Oof. Is it a typewriter or a mechanical keyboard?
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
And then like every time I join call, like there's this meme that goes around of like people who join Discord calls on a mechanical keyboard, other people are talking, and then like you join the call and then all you hear is like clack, 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 clack. Like that is me.
You're the clack, yeah.
Yes, I am the clack.
So if you guys have any last questions, we've got 2 more of our kind of weekly questions, but if you guys have any more, we'll give you about another minute. So, but what is a keyboard group buy you were most excited for? Outside, I think you mentioned the Think 6.5.
I think that is the only one that I am in right now. I'm waiting for the brass edition. So I'm very, very excited for that.
There you go.
I wanted it on the Koyu, but I think I missed that one like by a few weeks. Like I didn't realize it was going on, and then I found it after, and I was like, "Wow, this sucks." And that's shipping right now. But I don't think I'm in any group buys right now. I think it's just the Think.
You're a lot more reserved than Chewy and I. We're like,
I'm counting right now.
Oh no, there are a lot that I wanted, and then I was like,
5 right now.
Cannot handle. Oh yeah, that's right. I am in the U80 group buy.
That's right.
I'm excited about that too. Yes.
You did say that.
The
You're
port
good.
My camera died. Rip.
You're good.
Oh, here we go.
It's coming back.
We got back. Heck yeah. That's never come back that fast.
2-angle Chewy.
Coming at you from both sides.
So there are some people that are very interested in your thoughts on the soap macro pad.
I think that's like something that's going on in the 40s community, and I think it is very cute. And I was actually going to join the Predator run, but they changed that from like metal material into some like high quality plastic, and I was like, I just want a lump of metal soap. So I was going to wait for the group buy run for that.
There you go. I believe why did you get the badgeless Think?
Well, I got 2 things. So I got the badgeless brass, and I got the badge PC version. And I just thought that like even though the badge is a pretty nice design, I don't 100% like the positioning of it. It like doesn't take up enough space to look it just like looks off to me aesthetically in my mind. But I think with the polycarb, the metal of the badge will like really come through like whatever color you choose, so it would look nice. But I just wanted like a cleaner look for my breast.
Nice. Opinion on Ivy macro pad.
I think it's really nice. I've been watching the videos of Salvin. So that's like a macro pen made by Adron Blunt, and he does some pretty good work. And I think Salvin, who has like a bunch of CNC machines and does his own projects, is working on getting that made. And I would get it, except I don't have a use for macro pads.
I'm not gonna lie.
But I think it is really nice. It's very aesthetically pleasing to me.
Chewy, you gave me this M6A like 2 months ago at this point.
Still haven't set it up.
I haven't plugged it in. I changed the keys out, changed the caps out, and it just sits on my desk. And it's basically a heavy switch tester.
It's good for media keys.
Yeah.
I don't use media keys though.
Yeah, I use media keys a lot, but
I have a Stream Deck, so
there you go. So yeah, well, this for about the 14th time someone just asked neck socks. So
I'm actually gonna disappear for a second. I need to charge my laptop and I need to move real quick.
You're good.
1 second.
She's not going to.
She doesn't have...
I'm running away from the neck sock eludes.
It's like, nope, I'm out. You didn't buy SA Bliss, and that was not part of the deal.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
More casual Minterly now.
Up close and personal.
Worst camera quality. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Hey, it's all good. Sean at Zap. I tune in, she leaves. So we got our last two questions.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and ask it. What is your favorite and least favorite thing about the community?
My favorite is that everyone is so willing to try new things. Like you see people coming up with cool ideas of like how to mod your switches, cool keyboard ideas, cool layout ideas. And I think it's really cool that like for such a small community, it's so innovative. And it's like you don't really have much to work with. It's like bits of plastic and bits of metal, but people are still able to like put an artistic spin to things and like different interpretations of things. And I think the least favorite is that like kind of going off of that, it is a pretty limited space for how creative you can get. So things kind of overlap, and I feel like people get a little like tense about when it's like, oh, when can you claim something as yours or not, and like get really possessive about things. But it's just like, I mean, we're all working within the same sphere of like bits of plastic, and there's like a certain, color range that can be supported, and like how many shapes can you put into a piece of rectangle? Mm-hmm. So I think like sometimes people get like super defensive when things overlap, and I'm just like, well, there's a limit to how unique you can get. So
yeah. I've called it for a few months now, the dibs culture that we have in our community of people who, especially when keycaprenders.com came out, people just started throwing out terrible, very low effort ones just to get their colorway out, so that they can call dibs, even if they haven't put in effort. And you can see like who's put in effort and who hasn't. And
I think interest checks ever since that tool came out have like gone up in quality instrumentally. Like an interest check now is kind of like, oh, this is the set that I am, and I'm announcing when I'm going to buy it in like 5 months. Before, I think like it involved more like a feedback loop in the community. You could have kind of like a half-baked idea, and people would be able to give their input. And now it's kind of just like a finished product that you just like present, and there's not really much change that happens.
Yeah, and I liked hearing like your thought process of like how you changed the modifiers, like you made that yours. And I think that's in this time where there's a lot of key sets that may have similar colors or have like a similar color profile, doing things like that make it unique and really make it one of a kind, which is just as, I mean, I would say is probably takes more work than picking another random color profile that no one has done before.
Yeah, well, I think like finding colors that work together and then not like stepping on people's toes is still a process.
Yeah.
But being able to like add something unique to that, like it definitely helps.
Mm-hmm. So, last but not least, if you've watched our last few weeks, I'm going to ask the age-old question. I say age-old; it's like 10 years old. Office or Parks and Recreation?
I have actually never watched either.
What? How?
What?
I don't really like shows that go in that vein. I think like
Clavier.
the
Obvious answer's got to be the best. Cancel all it.
I think the closest show I've watched in that vein is like How I Met Your Mother.
All right, that's okay.
But my favorite shows like of all time are Bones and Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
So yeah, don't come for me, please.
It's okay. It'll be okay.
So right now, what we're 2 for Office, 1 for Parks, and 1 for neither.
Yeah, one for him.
Hi.
How Much Your Mother was great through season 5.
Yeah, I think like, and then the last season was kind of interesting, but I like watched
like
it
4
anyways.
episodes were okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I did the grind because
Yeah,
at that point
we
you
both
have
did.
to.
We both did.
You just have to be like, just get through this. Let me see the last 10 minutes of the last season or series finale. But
I think there was a point where I was my contact in Chewie's phone was Ted Mosby was my picture.
Oh my gosh.
You might still be Ted Mosby.
Probably. I could call you real quick and we could find out.
Yeah, well, I guess I don't want to give out your last name.
It's okay.
But
it's already out.
It's okay. Here's his last name and his social security number. No, I do have. This is a picture. It's actually from the night I got engaged. So
oh wow.
He helped me. He helped me get engaged. So it's a funny picture. So
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Minterly, Nat. Neck sock. I don't know which name to name you. I don't know. Maybe Gray Studio can make a poll on our Discord to name you. But thank you for joining us, Keycap Designer Set. You've got 4 days to go get SA Bliss. Don't be like Osiris and I and miss out on this. Maybe we'll still get it in the last few days. But FOMO hasn't kicked in yet. But go grab a set, SA Bliss, dixiemech.com. If you want to go ahead and look for SA Bliss, why I'm messed up our affiliate link. I need to make a Streamlabs thing. I totally forgot to do that. But you want to use our affiliate link, I will post it in the chat in just a second. And you can, maybe throw that on your like bookmarks. Just helps us out. There we go.
Dixie
Thank you,
Mech
Dixie Mech.
helped
Dixie Mech with
what a homie.
Helping promote us and himself. I love his flex move. But no, thank you, Dixie Mech. And we'll get that Streamlabs up. But go there, SA Bliss, final push. Let's hit 500, maybe even 5,000. Who knows? It could be a huge last day.
Huge last day. Take the crown away from
Thanks for having me, guys. Hopefully I didn't bore everyone to death.
Oh, the chat was bumping.
Yeah, it was bumping.
With all the trolls, yes. Like 5 people that I know.
Continual neck socks spam.
Neck socks. So, Cyrus, you want to hit us with that sponsor?
Yeah, so again, you can use our affiliate link to Dixie Mech, pick up SA Bliss, pick up some of his sweet t-shirts, hats, flight cases. You can get whatever you want, whatever he's got over there. Bookmark it, helps us out. Another one, switchmod.net. You can get lube, you can get some Eyster keycaps, some cool stickers. Use the link switchmod.net/Mechs on deck, and you can get 4% off. It is not apply to the GMK Handlebart, or however you say that word. It does not apply to that group buy, but it will apply to everything else. And then last but not least, Zap Cables. You can head on over and get a custom cable made. I know he opened up commissions for some cables on Monday, and he's releasing new schedule spots as quickly as he can. But if you don't want to wait and you want to make one yourself, we have a video on our YouTube where you can listen to John walk us through learning how to make your own custom cable. Brain for it there for a second.
We got there, boys.
Got there. But yeah.
So and next week we have, I believe it's Ren. That's just what they have in our Discord with GMK Peaches and Cream to finish off our keycap designer month. But check us out on Discord. Put those links in the chat. Discord, YouTube for any more info you want. We talk about keyboards every week. We have a weekly show Tuesdays at 11 a.m. The video goes live on YouTube. But once again, Nat, thank you. If there's anything you would like to plug outside of SA Bliss.
I would like to plug GMK Cafe. That's coming out in October on Canon Keys. So I know Canon Keys is also doing Peaches and Cream, so they're doing an awesome job with that. But I think Cafe could be the set of the year.
Good choice. That's a set where Chewy and I are probably both gonna get.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely very nice.
I might buy like almost all of the kits. So
yeah.
So, and after that, I think Man of Interest is. Yep, we should rate him. Are you doing it, or do you want me to?
You can do it. That way I don't have to do it.
There you go. All right, so thank you. We're going to raid Man of Interest. He is I don't know exactly what he's working on. In the preview video, it looks like some sort of ortho board. But we're going to go raid him. Thanks again. Thanks again, Nat, for joining, and enjoy raiding Mr. Huey at Man of Interest. Later.
Y'all have a good night.